We're back with my dating series. Tonight we're at Dating at Clyde Park. There's supposed to be 800 people here, 400 men, 400 women, and so far it is packed. We will let you know how it goes.
She said, spoiler alert, it wasn't great. Then she said she's going to give a recap or something like that.
We're going to another Vegas singles event. And I commented and told everybody about this event. So if you didn't know, I don't know what to tell you. Follow Vegas Girl Events and Vegas Brunch Boys. I don't know what to tell you. Don't ask me. I am not the social media person for these events, people.
Come on now.
But it is in this place called Doberman's where you can't take any photos or videos. So I can't show y'all if it's hella black people in there. I can't show y'all the different age groups. I'm just going to have to tell you after. It was so hard to find a parking spot. We parked far, and I'm like literally a person that always finds good parking. So I'm very upset that I had to park like a block away. Okay, Mia, girl, how'd you like it?
Oh, we had a time. A time was had.
Yeah, she was talking to some man all night. But there was a lot of women there.
Lots of women. Lots of women. Lots of straight women.
There wasn't that many men there. And okay, the age group was all over the place. It was like 40, 30, middle-aged, all the things.
Mm-hmm. The variety.
Way more women than men there. I'm telling y'all, like.
Yes. So men, show out next time. Come on now.
Literally, like, come on. I think there's gonna be another one in January. And y'all need to make sure y'all follow Vegas Girl Events and Vegas Brunch Boys. Don't ask me when the next event is. I don't know.
Do what she says.
But see you at the next one. Unless Mia got a man. Ooh.
A lot of men already are losing so much interest in dating. A lot of men won't even date anymore, period. And if we keep treating men the way that we currently do, this is gonna be just a normal thing. All the men who still have hope and are still dating are just gonna stop. We need to come to a middle ground so everybody can be happy in relationships and no one feels used or taken advantage of.
Where are all the men? That's what those women say when they're posting social events where there's no men there. Like, look at it, it's just a sea of women. You know why there's no men there? Because of the women. A wise man told me this. Because think about it. Guys are onto us, ladies. They know if they go to these social events, we're going to only gravitate to like 2 of them, while the rest of the guys are pretty much ignored or seen as creeps. So why would men voluntarily go to an event where they know they're going to be rejected on a mass scale? They're at home. They're over us, man. And I don't blame them.
Went to a singles mixer, and only women showed up.
And you can kind of see everybody's just sitting around looking, just chilling, just hanging out. It looks terrible out there. This is what you can come to expect from singles events where men don't feel like they're as important as the woman is. I know there are some places and in some spaces to where, hey, the woman is the feature. The woman is the one that's going to be, held up as we're celebrating her tonight, and vice versa. The man is the person that we're celebrating tonight. Not everybody. Obviously there's places of importance, where everybody's important, but tonight we're celebrating one person or the other. But these singles events are always the same thing. I'm the most important. I don't have to try. I can come out here and do whatever I want. And I can talk to a man however I want. And this is how you end up sitting at that table like the woman in the orange shirt, just looking at your phone like really honestly and truly everybody else is doing.
T-minus 2 hours until I go to my first ever singles event. I am excited. I don't know. Am I excited? I feel like I'm open. I'm feeling open. I'm feeling like, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just do this. A friend of mine said she might come, so I probably won't be alone. But if I am, that's okay because the event is centered around music. So I won't feel super stressed because everyone loves music, right? I'm about to get ready. I'm already kind of half ready because I came back from work, but I'm about to clean up my makeup a little bit more and then we'll get going. Bathroom is in shambles. Okay, so I wish I could show you my bathroom, but I'm just gonna show you what I'm wearing. This is the fit. I'm gonna be wearing Nike Pandas. The friend I'm going with is wearing heels, and I'm like, heels would be so cute, but unfortunately I am flat-footed. But yeah, I'm confident with this fit. My hair's not done, so I've been wrapping it, and I always look cute with like a wrap because my face card is like... So I'm confident in this little outfit, and it's also really cold. It's like 35 degrees today, but it feels like 19. How is that even possible? If it feels like 19, isn't it just 19 degrees? Whatever. Anyways, so yeah, I'm excited. So I will keep you guys updated. Bye. Come find me, and I will give you a prize. Thanks, y'all. So if you couldn't already tell, the event was a flop and I ended up leaving early. I did go to the event with a friend and I made a friend at the event, but there was no men there. There was no men. There was like 5 men and 50 women, and all the men were not men that I would, and not men that would have pursued me either. They weren't coming up to me. So it's like, hey, you know, so me and my friend made the executive decision to leave and look for somewhere local to just hang out so that we didn't waste our outfits for the night. And we ended up going into like this random restaurant that was having a karaoke night, and we had so much fun. Just singing and just dancing with the people there, and everyone was so nice. So the night was not a waste. I think a lot of my friends who I was updating about like the night, they were like really concerned, like, Crystal, like, are you okay? Like, I'm okay, because even though I didn't meet anyone and the event was a flop, like, maybe it just wasn't meant for me, right? Maybe it wasn't meant for me, but I was meant to have a good night, and I did. And I'm happy to report that tonight was so much fun, despite the fact that the singles event was a flop. Will I sign up for singles events in the future? Probably, but I have to continue to build up the courage to do so. I think this gave me the courage, the fact that I even did this. Like, okay, I don't think I'm ready to go alone. I think in the future I will take friends until I feel secure in going alone, but I'm happy I had a friend today to go. And I'm happy that I went, even though it wasn't what I expected at all. So yeah, that was my night, guys. And yeah, being a late bloomer, it's an interesting experience. But I think in this season, if anything, I'm learning that it's important to be grateful for the community that you have now. I'm grateful for the friends that I'm making. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for my family. And maybe a guy is not in the cards for me right now, and I don't understand why men don't talk to me, but that's okay, because I am a full person as I am, and that is great.
Sitting in a little circle, man. It's just like, it's like an intimate concert of sorts, like to where you have your favorite artist. It's like one of those unplugged moments to where they sit right there and they kind of sing to you, and it's like, woo, oh, great, woo, like those sparing claps, like, or sporadic claps throughout the, like it's quiet. Oh yeah, thanks. It's really a soulful thing to me, to where we had these, and you know, me and Dan back in the day when we first started, and they go through the whole background. That's what this looks like. It just sitting in a circle, and it looks, you know, I guess if it weren't a singles event, it looked great, but it is a singles event. So I guess you have nothing to do but sit in a circle and listen to music, because the men didn't come out. So there you are.
What's the biggest difference between guys in their 20s and in their 30s? Guys in their 20s still believe in love. You can see this ray of sunshine in their eyes that they're still able to have a crush. Men in their 30s, they're dead inside.
Oh joy, another video of another woman that just doesn't get it. I'll tell you exactly why it all changes for men when they reach a certain age. Because at some point in time when they are that young, of course they're going to have hope. They believe there's some type of faith in humanity when it comes to women and when it comes to the dating world, because of what they strive for. However, due to the years of experience of being used, abused, treated like, and also being cheated on, being unappreciated and taken for granted left to right, being stressed out all the time because nothing they do is ever good enough, having to experience that everything they built for someone gets all just taken away, you know? And some of you women act so damn oblivious and stupid thinking that, you know, oh, why do men suddenly end up dead inside? All of what I just said is years of them experiencing this. And it's a lot more common than you think. And then y'all assume that men just hate women. No, they're just tired. They're tired and they rather have some peace, some quiet. Sometimes they prefer to be alone for that reason.
Why are they so surprised men have walls up? They helped build every brick.
So I went on a Hinge date on Saturday, and it was fine. Like, I thought it went well. We had good convo. We hung out for like 2.5 hours. He's already unmatched me on Hinge. Like, it hasn't even been a week. How quickly did he unmatch me? Huh? That's crazy. Like, I'm offended.
They never want you to move on. That's the biggest thing about it. They want you to be enamored with them, surrounded by them, and to be infatuated with them for the rest of their life. You guys got to stop that. That's weird. That's weird.
What did I say? I don't even know what to say. I'm torn between offended and just like mind blown. Maybe it was him. Maybe it was something he felt like. Wow.
Wonder what kind of red flag she was wildly waving in the air.
Online dating is actually super unfair for men compared to women. Men always have to go into a relationship and prove their worth to be dateable. Men have to go in and say that they either earn a lot of money, or they know a lot of things, or they have a lot of skills, or something that they've really well built. Men have to provide value in order to be desirable by any woman. And a woman can just show up and look good, and that's it. She doesn't have to prove anything. She doesn't have to have anything, own anything. She just has to look somewhat good. Any woman out there who says that dating is actually harder for women, are you sure about that? Because it's actually not.
When women say dating is hard, what they mean is sorting through their endless options is hard. It's like complaining there's too many ice cream flavors to choose from.
They were really struggling with why men are not attending these events, and I had the same question.
First, let's consider that maybe the scheduling of these events is not opportune for the type of men you're trying to attract. So make sure that's not the problem. And then I'm going to tell you another problem that I think it might actually be with the men not wanting to go to these events. It is far easier for a woman to walk into a room full of women she does not know than it is for a man to do the same thing. That's in general. But second, for the men, it's a little bit of a competitive environment because you're creating a dating specific event. And so they're going to be there with men that they don't know. That creates a level of anxiety that comes from just kind of natural forces. So I think ideally you should do a men's event first, and then the following weekend do an event with single ladies with that same group of men. I don't know. That's my thought.
Well, it's kind of like we were saying, these events aren't really all that opportune for men. Like whether it's the time or whether it's the environment, they're not really geared towards a man's, I don't want to say level of comfort, but they do it to the highest degree of a woman being comfortable. Like it could be 100% comfortability for a woman and 0% for the man. And they'll just say, when the man says, I don't know if I wouldn't want to walk into something like this. Oh, well, you're a man, just do it. That's their excuse for everything. You're a man, just do it. And the man says, no, I used to do that, but I think this time I'm not going to. Then all of a sudden you're sassy. Well, I don't care if you call me sassy. I'm not really going to. To men, it's not the same thing. But when you watch those old mafia shows or movies and stuff, to where you're saying, hey, just go with this guy, and the man has an uneasy feeling about it, and he ends up getting pinched, and then somebody else says, well, I'm not going down that alley. I think it was in Goodfellas, actually, where all that stuff with Henry Hill and his wife had gone down. And so they were trying to get him out of there because I think they knew he turned, right? So they were trying to get him out of there. They were trying to take out his wife. And at one point in time during the movie, Robert De Niro says, hey, go meet with this person. He'll get you taken care of. And then she's walking down and he's like, right down the street. And she was like, where? Just right down there, down the street. So she's looking and she sees a man down the alleyway. And she was like, right here? Yeah, just go down that alleyway. No, I'm not going down the alleyway. I'm not doing that. So you can, oh, well, I didn't know that. No, I'm not walking to my death. I'm not doing that. And that's how men feel about these singles events. Yeah, just go down there. Yeah, no, it's going to be women down there. Don't worry about it. Right here. Women that actually are open to dating and like me. Yeah, go ahead. Right there. Just right down there, down that, in that building over there. No, I've learned enough. I've seen enough to know that if I walk in here, there's a good chance that these women are going to be piranhas. They're going to try to roast me. They're going to be rude. They're going to try to trash me and say something that's going to take down my self-esteem. And they know that they're saying this type of stuff. So no, I'm not going to be going in there.
It is, I actually made the effort this time. I went up to two people
at the bar, and I was going towards the bar, and I started talking to him, and he was a nice statuesque.
I need black women to understand that these single dating events, they are not created for you. They are not created with you being the main demographic in mind. Now, I'm not from Houston, but I've never been to a dating event in my life. I will die not ever going to a dating event in my life. Because if you look at the trend of what both of those women stated, they both stated that they approached these men at the dating event. And this is why men think that they're the prize. Dating events are for men. Dating events are not for women. You have to think, as a man, what setting are women repeatedly trying to go to put themselves in proximity to have a man talk to them, to be able to have a relationship with a man? Where out in the wild are women intentionally trying to create a situation in which this is happening? There is no place. That is the reason why you have to literally pay. A place has to create an event in which they curate this situation where they say, okay, there are women out here that want a man. These men do not go to these dating events to find someone to court, to marry, to deal with. These men go to these dating events primarily for two reasons. The first reason is that they need a validation boost. They don't get to go to places regularly and get validation.
So basically just talking to hear yourself talk. That's it. Just talking to hear yourself talk. These singles events aren't for anybody. They're really not for women either, to be honest. These singles events, some of them feed into the delusions of modern women. So no, if it's feeding into your delusion, it's not for you. You don't need to be there. And it's not for men, because men will go there and then feed into your delusions. So no, the men don't need to be there either. They don't need to be wasting money, wasting time and energy and resources on somebody that wants validation, but is not really going to get it out in the outside world, because people have been around you in the outside world. They know you're full of BS. So now they're like, I'm not going to continue to give you the attention that you want. I'm just going to go do something else. So now you have to pay to go get the attention at a singles event. Men are not doing that anymore.
So I just came back from a singles event. I was trying to find a boo or whatever. And it went the way you would have thought it would go when you're a single woman who's interested in men and you're trying to date in New York City. I want to start off by saying it was a cute event. It was so adorable. It was a PowerPoint presentation where you present your friend. You say, hi, my friend is single, and these are all the reasons you should date them. Here are the bullet points. Here are the slides. It was great. And a lot of the presentations were really good. It's just that most of them were women. The women were great. They were hot. A lot of them were even bisexual. So I thought about it. I thought about it because, when there's a drought, drink lemonade, I believe is how the saying. Now, there was one man who was presented, and he was fine. He was fine, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. He had a beautiful smile, great fashion sense, neurodivergent, it's bisexual. Sign me up. And you know what? I did sign up because at the end there were everybody who got presented, their names were on a list on a table, and you could write down your name and your Instagram and your phone number if you were feeling them. And then they could stalk you and then hit you up if they're feeling you back. And I put my name on that list. I felt so good. And then I proceeded to watch maybe 20 other women and at least 5 other guys put their names on the list as well. So yeah, it was a bummer that there weren't more guys at the event. But you know what? Why, if I were a guy, I wouldn't be at an event for singles either. Because I could just go outside and trip and fall into 18 beautiful women on my way to the train. So for any of you New York City single ladies out there who unfortunately are attracted to men, good luck. I don't have any tips. I don't know what we're supposed to do. I really thought this was going to be my hot girl summer year. I really thought I was going to have my first roster. I was just going to go out there and have just like a laundry list, like a scroll, like in the olden days, a scroll of men to choose. I just open my scroll in the morning and be like, who do I want to flirt with today? And I would point, close my eyes and point. That's what I thought this was. I thought delusional. Let me stop playing. I could do that. Technically, I could close my eyes. Oh yeah, the one that robbed me. Let's text him. Wait, let me try again. Oh, toxic masculinity, hates women, and abuse. Yeah.
Yep, sounds about right. Sounds about right. And this is why men are not going. Well, if he's going to get all of the reps, I'm just going to stay at the house. Well, maybe you should get 1 or 2 reps. If you have me going to a singles event for basically, let's wrap this up in 30 minutes. $10, 30 minutes. Let's wrap this up. I don't need to be paying $75 and hang around somewhere for 2 hours for them to say, you're not the one that I'm looking for. And then watch another person get reps. I'm just not going to do it.
So I finally hit up one of these dating events. I keep hearing all these women talking about men don't go to the singles event. So I went. And let me tell you this. For a guy that's in the top, really 5% of men, I know I am. It's like going to the Sizzler. It's like going to a low budget Chinese buffet. Yeah, it's a lot of food there, but most of it you don't want. And then the food that might look interesting already kind of been picked over and messed around and pushed to the side. So really, you don't want that either. To be honest, if a dude got options, if a dude know who he is, really probably the woman that he looking for ain't at a singles event. Because I'm telling you right now, most of the women at the singles event ain't what we want. It's literally like going to a low budget Chinese buffet where the food look old, stale, pushed around, and just not too pleasing. I'm just going to be honest. So that's probably one reason why the guys y'all want really ain't going to singles event. I'm just being honest.
Here's some of the comments, man. They going wild in the comments. Somebody say we got our passports. Another guy says winter is here. You got another person saying use your passport, fellas. The person says, bro, I got invited to a birthday event and all I saw was plus size women peeping at me. I was sad. A woman in the comments said this is true.
Ain't no desirable man going to no speed dating event. I don't know who need to hear that, but before y'all keep wasting y'all money and time going to these speed dating events, don't do it if you expecting men that you would actually want to be there, because they're not. If there are any men there at all, they're definitely not going to be the type of man that you would want. They're going to be undesirable, but they won't be actual top tier attractive men with things going for themselves. You know why? Because if a man is actually desirable, why would he need to come to a speed dating event? He wouldn't. Desirable men get women constantly, whether it's walking out the house, going to the store, going to the gym, going to school. They don't have a problem in the woman department. See, y'all having a problem in the men department, which is why you're at a speed dating event. But these men are not having an issue with women when they're desirable. They don't have a problem getting girls. You have a problem getting men. And that's something that you need to work on. But as far as going to these speed dating events and thinking that you're going to meet actual men that you would want, they're not going to be there. You'll be good if you even get any men there at all, even the ones that nobody wants.
If you're hosting a singles event in 2026, can you please do better? I've been to several events where it was advertised as a panel at the beginning on dating and relationships, and then afterwards there would be a singles mixer. The problem is the panels usually include married or partnered people. Then when it's time for the mixer, they don't go home. If you just want to have an event and then have a reception afterwards with your panelists and with all the people there, that's fine. But don't advertise this as a singles event and a singles mixer. I've been to multiple events last year where that happened. Literally, one of my friends was on the panel and her boyfriend was with us in the audience. And during the mixer portion, women were chatting him up. And, you know, he's ducking and dodging them and letting them know he's here with her. But it's very confusing for single people who are at singles events to meet single people. Send them relationship folk home.
Well, they're probably there to answer questions. If anybody has any specific questions that they want to get answered and they want to talk to them about, that's why they're probably still there. I know what you mean and know what you're saying, but honestly, those women know that he's married. They know that. A lot of modern women are lazy and they really don't want to do the work. So they would rather come over there and talk to the man under the guise of, you know, kind of getting to know him and pick his brain about how to get a man. But really they want that man is what they want, right? Now it could be that some of these women out there, they are actually curious to see, you know, from a man's perspective, how do we approach this mixer portion? Like, should we stay to ourselves and allow the man to approach, or do we go approach the man? What's the balance there? So maybe they're talking about that or asking questions about that. But there are plenty of reasons why married people, specifically those who are on the panel, would still be there hanging around the singles mixer. And once again, a lot of these women know that these people are off limits, but they go and talk to them anyway. There's a woman in the comments here that said, I met my husband on a dating app. We've been together for 6 years and married for 4. Everyone should just follow their own rules and not listen to anyone else. Well, the problem with that is that a lot of these women are so delusional. And so they think that, well, a lot of their rules actually make sense. And they're still running into singleness. They're still running into that wall of loneliness. So no, don't just listen to your own rules. Find some good rules and listen to those and have more success.
Let me get this straight. Black women can't use dating apps to meet men. Black women can't go to singles events to meet men. Black women can't meet men in random restaurants and bars. So like, where the hell else can they meet men? I've heard people say like, join running clubs, join different types of fitness clubs, so on and so forth. But also black women are not allowed to approach men. It just seems like no matter what black women do in terms of dating, they're always at a disadvantage. They're always doing something wrong. They're always not getting something right. And it just feels like a never ending cycle of being told of what you can't do because of X, Y, and Z reasons. And that is very, very daunting and exhausting to deal with, because everybody is going to find something wrong with what you do. But yet, if you stay home and just mind your business and never put yourself out there, it's going to be your fault that you are not partnered because you don't leave your house and put yourself out there. But when you do leave your house, everywhere you go is wrong. Everything you do is wrong. So like, what the hell is the truth? Because if you can't go to Bella Noche's, where the hell else could you go?
This is really good, like a great question, because I am very curious about it, except for the club part. I don't care Nathan about no club. Why do men not go to singles events? Like, why don't y'all go? The ones in the church, or just like regular single? I don't know. I'm only talking about the ones in the church because those are normally the only ones I go to. But why don't y'all go? And one of my friends was there, and I was surprised to see him at the singles event that I was at. And he was like, oh, I'm only here because my friend told me about it. Like, someone told him about it. That's the only reason why he went. He was like, if someone didn't tell him, he wouldn't have even knew or even came. So do y'all not know about it, or do y'all just not want to go? Like, what is it? Because at the end of the day, y'all the ones who get down and propose to women. So I'm just curious why y'all don't go. But I already feel like y'all got the pick of the litter anyways. Like, y'all don't really need to go. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm very curious to know.
Just got back from a singles event in Seattle, and my conclusion that I came up with on the way home is that nobody is serious about dating anymore. I had multiple conversations throughout the night with groups of people, so both men and women, and just asked them basically what their experience had been so far with events like this, why they were at this event in particular, and what they were hoping to get out of it, essentially. And all of them kind of said the same thing. They said they're just here for the vibes and just trying to get to know more people and meet new people. That's great. I love that for you. If you're specifically going to events just to like go do more things and be more social, fantastic. But my confusion is, why are people going to singles events if they're not trying to find a romantic partner to eventually be in a relationship with? Meaning, why are people going to these events and only looking for friends and or have no intention of giving out a phone number or an Instagram or whatever if they have a good conversation with somebody? I don't understand it. Because I had multiple people throughout the night that I vibed with, had, great interactions with and stuff like that, and spent majority of the night with, for example. Like, everyone at these events typically will find a group of people that they vibe with and will talk with most of the night, things like that, and they'll hang out and it'll be great. Yet nobody exchanges phone numbers, nobody exchanges like Instagrams even for the most part, and you just say, oh yeah, hey, it was great meeting you at this event, and you never see the person again. What's the point of going to a singles event where all these are catered specifically? It doesn't matter what event it is. All of them are catered to, hey, if you like so-and-so, so-and-so gender, you're interested in this gender, you're there to talk to these people, and the whole point is you're pulling phone numbers and you're going out on dates, and then you get into a relationship, and bam, that's how you meet. So what's the point of going to those if you're not actually going for that reason? You're not going with intention, and, yes, it's a low-stress environment, but what's the point if you're not going to do anything about it? So one of two things is true, or one of two things needs to happen. Either people need to, A, never complain about dating on the internet again, specifically in Seattle, because that's where I'm at, but in general, people need to never complain about dating ever again. Or two, we need to find a solution where there's a low-pressure, low-stakes event that people are going to that is for single people, where their whole goal is to legitimately find a romantic partner that they're interested in, or find a romantic person that they're interested in. So you're going, and it's not like a speed dating situation where you're trapped in a chair and you have to go through a certain amount of people and this and that. No, it's just a casual hangout, but you're asking questions of, hey, what are your interests, and do we vibe enough through like small talk? And then, what are you looking for in a relationship? What do you look? Are you serious about dating? Are you trying to find a short term, long term? Are you trying to be marriage material? Like, what are you looking for? And then your whole point is like, pull out a phone number, schedule a date, go on the date, and see what works. Because I don't think anyone's actually serious about dating anymore. And I'm so sick and tired of seeing various TikToks and other social media platforms where people are complaining about dating all day long, yet nothing ever comes of it. They're just on there just to complain. It's like, you have a problem, find a solution for it, or stop complaining about it because you're not serious.
There's somebody in the comments that says, dating is embarrassing and no one is willing to be embarrassed anymore. They're all trying to be the coolest in the room, but falling in love requires you to be vulnerable. I agree with that, but vulnerable doesn't mean getting messed over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, at some point in time, people are going to step back and they're going to say it's less about embarrassment and more about being destroyed so much that you have to start over. I can do embarrassing. Rejection is embarrassing. What I don't want to keep on doing is starting from the bottom and having to rebuild because somebody keeps on trying to ruin what I have going on. Maybe they get a wild hair or something like that and they feel like, oh, why would he ever? And then they try to put me on TikTok, and then the people go and find my address or where I work. And I just felt like he was harassing me. And then they lie. And the people at your job and places know that they're lying, but they're like, sorry, man, you're bad for business. That sort of stuff, man. Nobody wants to even get close to that type of, well, it's rare, it's this. Nobody wants to even get close to that. Have to start being responsible and having, kind of like I think you were saying, genuine conversations and saying, hey, would you mind, exchanging numbers? Maybe we can text or talk. I mean, if not, totally cool, totally fine. Just thought that, I thought we had a good conversation and I'm interested in you. So wanted to know if there's a possibility that we could keep this conversation going. And if you're not interested, answer respectfully. I did have a good time talking to you, but honestly, I don't know if I'm interested in you like that romantically, but I did have a good time though. Okay, cool. Thanks. And let that be it versus trying to get online afterwards and say the man had the audacity. How could he ever?
Women only want to date at their convenience. Maybe. How about instead of going to an event for dating, you simply approach a man you like that isn't already in a relationship? I asked the internet, why don't men go to dating events like speed dating, singles events, mixers, all that kind of stuff? Now, to be fair, I did have a little tongue-in-cheek action with my post by saying, why y'all don't go to these events? Y'all scared or something? And the truth is that, you could be scared. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm scared. I haven't been to a speed dating event to participate. I've gone to cover it as an influencer. But as an introvert, the idea of going to those social settings and then mixing it in with dating, it scares me. But kudos to the people who actually do it, both men and women, because they want to try. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the comments were unhelpful. We have better things to do than to be analyzed by gold-digging narcissists. Means you are all invaluable, worthless liabilities. Y'all hate men so much. Got me wondering, why not date and marry women? Good riddance. And my thing is, I know that this isn't all men. I know that there are still good men out there who actually love and respect themselves and love and respect women. And even more so, love and respect Black women. Because not everybody does, right? And so I know that this is not all men, and I'm not going to internalize this or generalize this. Howsoever, the ones who I definitely strongly recommend try Jesus and a therapist, and not me. Y'all make it real hard for the ones that are good. Y'all make it real hard for the ones that are not bitter, but who are better. I would love to hear, again, more constructive, helpful feedback on how people who put on speed dating events or singles mixers can make them a little more interesting for both men and women who are trying to find themselves in hetero relationships. As for me, I'm going to just keep going to therapy, drinking my water, minding my business, and loving myself. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all really do hate women. And I hate that for y'all. I really do. Some of y'all really hate Black women. And I hate that for y'all. That sucks for you. It really does. But I love you. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. And I hope that you have a good day and find peace. And really, I really strongly suggest y'all try therapy. I do. Okay, bye.
Well, I feel like for a lot of this stuff, men do actually try to give sound feedback. I mean, once again, clowning aside and all of that, men do actually try to give sound feedback about what's going on, about the dating event. Well, we don't really like feeling this way. We don't like having to put ourselves out there and then, basically get disrespected for it. I don't like doing that. But that's just one part of it. Another part is, okay, you're here. Go crazy. Find a woman to approach. They all want to be approached. They don't want to be approached. They want to be approached by the man that they want to be approached by. And you got to know who that man is, if you're that man or not. And most men are like, well, I don't know. I don't know if you like me or not. And the women aren't giving off signals or whether they like the man or not. So we're just kind of standing around looking at each other, looking for signals. And it gets weird and it gets awkward. So what can we do to bring each other in close proximity to where the man feels comfortable talking and the woman feels comfortable talking? Maybe you can have something to where it's hands-on. Maybe you can have a face-to-face portion that makes the women feel comfortable and a side-by-side portion that makes the men feel comfortable. Because I don't necessarily need to, as a man, talk to you face-to-face. I can talk to you sitting side to side like brothers, like connecting with you like I would one of my friends. I don't have to look at you in your eye and talk to you. That's how a lot of men communicate. Right? So you got to give space for both. And a lot of times it's only space for the women. Right? And then for the icebreaker, I think a PowerPoint presentation is great. But after the presentation, as you get through learning, how do you meet this person? We'll just go up and talk to them. How do we mix and mingle? And it's not about forcing people to do it, but how do we get them to get loose in a fun, relaxing way? Those are the types of things that you need to figure out. Okay, this is what men like. They like sports. They like the games. So let's do something with an element of football or basketball or sports. And then let's provide an element of, hey, this is what the women like. How do we incorporate the two? Well, I don't know. I can't think of that. Well, ChatGPT might be able to help. How do I mix these two concepts together for an icebreaker event for my singles event? How do I do that? I've got some other ideas and concepts where I'm trying to get men and their communication styles, as well as women and their communication styles on the same page, but I want to do it in a fun, relaxing, easy way. The setting is X, Y, and Z. Can you give me some concepts or some activities that we can do in order to make both parties or help both parties come together? You can ask those types of questions and see if it can give you some concepts, and then you add your own twist of creativity to it so that you can get the men talking and you can get the women talking, and men and women are going to keep on rolling in. They'll pay first of all, I mean, it's $50. So, I mean, if you have, well, I'm not going to get too far on the $50. I think most men are like, well, I'm not going to pay $70 or something like that just to come up and get rejected. But if it's worth it, a lot of the brothers will start coming, even if they don't meet a woman. They'll start coming because it's fun. Hey, man, I'm going to the singles event. You want to come? I want to go to a singles event, man. Man, no, it ain't even like that, man. It's like da-da-da-da-da-da. Man, I guess I'll come. Yeah, come on, man. We'll get some drinks or something like that. We'll take it easy. You maybe meet somebody, you might not, but it's a fun hangout spot. Okay, cool. And then y'all go. But a lot of times, these are not fun hangout spots. These are yet another place to where a man has to prove himself. Yet another battlefield for a man. It's just Friday night. I don't want to prove myself to nobody tonight. I just want to have fun. I want to kind of get loose, have a couple conversations, try to boost my self-esteem, get my social battery recharged a little bit, and go to the house. Man, I'm hoping to meet somebody, but I understand if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'll keep on trying again. But most of these things are not fun for men, and that's why they stop going.
If you're planning on going to any of the singles events that I shared, you're going to want to be wary of this. Some men will try to mark their territory on you as soon as they start talking to you at the event. And by mark their territory, I mean they're going to like come up to you, usually buy you a drink. The ones that are really trying to like stake their claim, they will buy you a drink, which then will compel you to be talking to them for a significant period of time. And then they just stick by your side, right? Talking your ear off. They're trying to engage your friends, or if you were smart enough to separate from your friends when you started to make the connection with this guy, they're just talking to you and they are not letting up. But you're looking around the party and you're seeing other guys that you kind of want to connect with, and they're checking you out too, but they don't think that they can approach you because this guy has been taking all of your time. Here's how you're going to get away from that scenario. First tip, go to the bathroom. Always good. Men can't go into the bathroom. You're like, oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Stay in there like a little bit too long so that hopefully by the time you come out, he's not like waiting outside the bathroom for you, right? And then when you leave the bathroom, make sure you go to like the totally opposite area of the party that you were before, or the opposite of wherever you see him. Like try to spot him before you walk into the rest of the party, and make sure you go like opposite of wherever he is to like give yourself some space. You could also, if you really wanted to make sure that like he can't take his claim on you, go stand near one of the other guys that you saw checking you out while you were at this event, for one of the reasons why you wanted to get away from him. And if you stand close enough to one of these men, and they're like, you know, they really know what they're doing, they will start talking to you and they will approach you. And then you'll be talking to another guy. And by then you will have easily diverted the guy who's trying to mark his territory on you and won't leave you alone. The next thing you're going to want to avoid is the girlfriend who doesn't want to leave you alone when a guy approaches you. Be wary of that friend. For one, make sure that you are not that friend. If your friend starts talking to a dude, walk away. Give her the space. You're going to be fine. And if your friend is doing that to you, you're going to have to tell them. Like, there's no like cute or funny way to get out of it when it's like your friend doing it. You're just going to have to be like, yo, I'm actually vibing with this guy. Or the other thing, if you're not actually vibing with them, that's the other thing that you need to have a signal with one of your girlfriends. Me and all my girlfriends since we were like 15, if we are ready to leave the conversation, we always say, oh, look, a butterfly. And that's something that's like generic enough that it really could be happening, but probably if you're at an inside place, it's probably definitely not a butterfly, but it's a code word so that people know that it's time to get out of here, wrap up your conversation, and we're ready to go. That you can also use that code word if you need saving. If you need saving from a guy that's hitting on you, definitely use one of these code words so that you know how to get out of the conversation when it is time. And if you're looking for a singles event to go to in LA for Valentine's Day, make sure you check out all my other videos because I shared them there.
A guy in the comments says, and I'm actually glad he said this. He said, or instead of all of the mental gymnastics, you can simply just say, I'm going to go mingle. I'll be back, and just go. You can just do that. This is one of the reasons that men are not going. Just mental gymnastics. Go do this, go do that. Or you could just say, hey, I'm going to go mingle and just get up out of there. That's it. It really is.